Hello, ladies. Jan Copeland here with this week's mini training for you. Oh, my husband didn't print off everything. Oh, yes, he did. Yay. Hi, Joanne. I have some good stuff to share with you today, and I have 30 minutes with you today. So, how's your day going? Whether you're here live or in the replay, I'd like you to share with me what you are looking forward to for till the end of the year. What are you looking forward to? I would love to know what you're looking forward to. For me, hi, Melissa. I am looking forward to taking off from December 22nd until the end of the year. And then my husband's birthday is January 3rd, and so we might just do a little getaway even the beginning of January. And we can do that as empty nesters, so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. How about you guys? What are you looking forward to? If I had little kids, I'd be excited. I'd be looking forward to them opening their Christmas presents because I always was an overbuyer. Are you guys overbuyers or are you disciplined? I am very undisciplined when it comes to kids. So my grandkids, they have lots of presents to open and my husband's like, no, we're done. Do not buy any more for those girls. They have enough. So tell me in the chat. Oh, good. Joanne is looking forward to getting some buyers under contract. Yay. Melissa says, seeing all my extended family at the various gatherings. Awesome. Awesome. Yay. 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 All right. So let's get started. So when you have a buyer prospect, what do you do with them? So someone calls and says they'd like to see 123 Main Street. What's your response to that? Tell me in the chat what your response is to that. Joanne's going to take her grandkids to see Santa. That's fun. Very fun. So your broker tells you that you have that they're giving you a buyer lead, or you're working the phones and the phone rings and somebody says, I want to see 123 Main Street. What do you say? I know there's a delay. Well, I'll tell you what you don't say. There's three things you don't say. You don't say, are you pre-approved? You don't say, are you working with anyone? And you don't say, when would you like to go see it? Okay, when you ask if they're pre-approved, you haven't even earned the right to ask that question in this scenario that I gave you. And to ask them if they're working with someone is to throw confusion into the mix, because if they were, I mean, why would they be talking to you? So Joanne says, great, have you just started looking for a house? Great, yes. You want to ask qualifying questions when someone comes to you in that manner. Fabulous. So you want to see 123 Main Street. Excellent. How long have you been looking for a home? And the reason for that, ladies, is that you want to qualify. If they say, oh, we've been looking off and on for a year, that's a red flag. If you ask the question, how long have you been looking? Well, I just got a transfer to insert name of city here. Now that's a good response, right? Anyway, I just got some really good news. It was texted in. I get my text on my phone, so that's why I look happy. I'm pretty excited. Anyway, so let me get back to this. So then they'll say, oh, just a couple weeks, whatever. We're just going to go play through the scenario. You don't ask them when it's convenient for them to go see it, because you're giving them all the power and you don't know enough about them as to whether you should take them, to see the home. Because ladies, you are an entrepreneur. Time is money. It is time that we women step up our real estate game and have a bona fide buyer process that we follow when we are working with a buyer lead or a seller lead. We don't just meet people randomly at homes. So then I would ask another question. And the next question would be, so 123 Main Street is in downtown. So you're looking for a downtown property? Or you could say something to the effect of, what brings you to be looking for a home right now? The reason you're asking that question, ladies, is because you kind of want to understand, are they in a lease? Or, again, as you ask these open-ended questions, you will be able to ascertain, where this person is, okay? And if the person is a looky-loo, they're not going to like answering these questions. They're not going to like it. So that's another way to clarify. Hi, Nikisha and Joni. So you would ask them, oh, so you don't have a home to sell? Or, oh, so you're in a lease until what, until when, based on what they respond with. And I have all these questions on what I call a buyer intake form. And on this initial phone call, you want to just ask a few, maybe those 2 or 3 that we just went over, and then say, okay, Susie, in case we get disconnected, I need your cell phone number. Is that the number you're calling me on? And if so, then go ahead, and on this intake form, you go ahead and write their number down. And then you say, and might I have your email, so that once we confirm when we're going to go see this home, I can shoot you a confirmation email. Okay, boom. Now you've gotten their email, you've gotten their cell phone. And listen, a looky-loo isn't going to want to give you their cell phone. A looky-loo is not going to want to give you their email. So you see that you are being the professional, the consummate professional. You are going to stop wasting gas and time taking out people who tell you they must see the house now. All right? So then the next step would be, okay, Susie, let me look at my calendar. One moment, please, because you are in charge. Okay, yes, you're accommodating, you're serving your clients, but you're setting up front who's running this show in a very polite, professional way. And so you say, okay, I can do it today, anytime between 6 and 7, 6 and 8, whatever, or I could do it Saturday between whatever. Which one works better for you? And in my almost 15 years experience, the ones who say, I have to see it today, 99% of the time are looky-loos, and don't waste your time, because we interpret their urgency with seeing the home as that they're qualified and that they need it. But that's why we don't trust that. So let's run through a few scenarios, okay? So let's say I said that and they say, well, gosh, I can't see it between 6 and 7. I can't see it before then. And my response to that would be, well, I'm really booked right now. Tell me what's going on with you. Because the more you ask of questions of the prospect, the better armed you are with how to proceed. Okay. So, based on, maybe she said, well, we usually eat dinner between 6 and 7. That's not an excuse, because if you want to buy a home, you're going to have to sacrifice or whatever. And then I'd say, okay, well, how about Saturday then? Let's do Saturday. And really, ladies, I believe that ladies have a gut instinct, and I think we should listen to it. So use your gut in figuring out when to go, when to schedule this. And then, so let's just say she said, okay, let's go Saturday between 11 and 12. And then I say, okay, why don't we meet there? Why don't we meet at 11:15 at my office? And then we'll go through just a quick intake, and then we'll head right over to see the home. And I will go ahead and shoot you an email with my office address so that you know where to meet me at 11:15 on Saturday. And to be honest, most people say, okay. So if you don't make it weird, they won't perceive it as weird. Isn't that awesome? If you make it weird, then they're going to say, something's not right. She's acting weird. Okay. So let's go through some scenarios. if she were to say at that point, what am I meeting at your office for? Then I would say, oh, well, of course, let me explain. Something as important as a home purchase, which is several $100,000, warrants a plan. And I do things a little differently than other realtors. I go over our plan and the process, and I share with you what's going on in this market, because every market is different. And so I believe an educated client is the best client. And so we're going to spend about 15 minutes in my office going over this intake and this, sharing the information with you, making sure that I fully understand what you're looking for, and then we'll go ahead out and see the home. And if they don't find that reasonable, then the next point that I bring up is, it's also, my broker requires it for security, that we need to meet in the office for security. I need to make a copy of your driver's license or something like that. And then they'll say, well, how about if I text it to you? And if you're met with too much resistance, ladies, it's really up to you as to how you're going to proceed. If I felt in my gut, based on conversation and what I knew about this person, if it was a relocation or something, I might waive that in terms of meeting at the office. But like if they were on a tight timeline and maybe they wanted to see 5 houses or something. But for the most part, I stuck to that. And the conversion rate was over 87% in terms of getting them to be commit to being my client. And that is the way it works. Then you follow up with an email, you follow up with a text, a video text. Hey, Georgie, I'm really excited to see you on Saturday, 11:15. My office is this. And then we'll head right over. And in fact, I went ahead and sent you an email with other listings that are similar to that one, 123 Main Street. So let me know if any others appeal to you. Do you see how you are, as the professional, taking charge to the benefit of the client? The client doesn't know, they could be a first-time home buyer, or they could be a third-time home buyer. They don't know this market. They don't know the process like you do. So you need to take charge. How does that sound to you guys? Hey, Kayla. Hey, Jules. Give me some comments. I'm going to hold off here for a second because I want to make sure that I haven't lost anyone, and that I want your feedback on this. You can give me a like, give me a love, or give me a comment that you're digging this. Okay. Thank you. So now you might be wondering, okay, when you hang up, you are going to do a few things. You're going to look in a price range that's a little below the house you're looking at and a little above. And before you hang up, you're going to ask, now, what about this house really appealed to you most? And get that down so that you get a flavor for the kind of home they're looking for. The other thing is that you want to then clarify basics, such as, so this home has 3 bedrooms. Is that the minimum? Great. And this home only has 1 bathroom. Did you want the 1 bathroom? Whatever. You want to just ask some clarifying questions. Then once you get off the phone, like I said, you want to set them up in the MLS with a search. And if you have a website with IDX, I would highly, strongly recommend that you go ahead and put them in the, send them a link to be set up, and so that they can do their own search on your website to get them off of Zillow, to get them off of Realtor.com or any other website, so that the chances of them finding another realtor is diminished. Okay, so let's see. Kayla, hi, Mom. Joanne, I really appreciate the process you've lined out. Hey, Jan, I didn't get the beginning. Stephanie, hi, just signed on. I do take charge. I've gotten away from bringing buyers in my office. Time to get back to it. Yeah. Well, because at the end of the year, if you would have made a tick mark for every buyer that you just met at the house, and then looked at how many closings you had that were on the buyer side, it might make you want to throw up. And when I came to that realization maybe 10 years ago, that's when I said, enough. There's a process that we're going to follow. And I knew who I wanted to serve. I knew that I wanted to serve those clients, those buyers and sellers who respected me as the professional. Because anybody who compares me to a discount broker isn't my client, right? Because my clients were busy and they appreciated expertise and they were happy to pay for it. And here's the thing, ladies, I want you to understand. People are happy to pay for perceived value. They get angry having to pay when there isn't perceived value. Okay, so that's why I'm continually, if you've been on here a while, you're in the video challenge going on right now, you know that I talk about how the first order of business is knowing that you're a great person and a great realtor, because this is a hard knocks business and it's dog eat dog sometimes. It's fabulous as well, but I'm just saying you have to have thick skin and you have to be very confident and show up ready to go. So I hope that makes sense. So doing this is definitely a way to be in charge. And remember, an entrepreneur is a person who takes greater risk than is normal, greater than average risk to run a successful business. So you might be thinking, wow, this is quite a risk, because if I don't show them the house today, they might hang up and call another agent and the other agent will show the house. Well, guess what? If you do the tick marks, then you'll realize that let the other agent waste their gas. Okay? Because that is a scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset says, oh my goodness, if I ever talk to a live person, I must do whatever they want, including taking overpriced listings and going and showing them 1 million homes before I even know if they're approved, because heaven forbid I miss an opportunity. That's a scarcity mindset, and it just doesn't work. The people who have scarcity mindset will be the ones leaving in the first 3 years, the 87% that leave the business, because you have to come from a place of excellence, a place of exceptionalism. So now the person is in the office. What do you show them? I wanted to share my screen, and now I forget how to do that. But I have a what I call a buyer packet. It's not really, it's a buyer packet. And it just guides the conversation that you're going to have when they come into the office. So I'm going to give you a little rundown here. So, of course, you exchange pleasantries. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm excited to show you 123 Main Street. Please have a seat. And then I had a packet for them, a folder or some kind of packet that is in my branded colors with my card attached that is very professional. And you say, so we're going to do a few things, and then we're going to head on out to the house. First thing we're going to do is every market is different. So I want to kind of share with you what you can expect in this market. And then we're going to, I'm going to ask you some more questions, because I want to make sure that I fully understand what it is that you're looking for and your timing and everything that goes along with buying a home. And then I may show you additional options that are on the MLS in your price range. And then we'll head on out. How does that sound? Great. And you always ask that, how does that sound? You don't say and move on. You say, how does that sound? Or say, okay, sound good? All right. So then you have this, I have this sheet that is, important things to know. And then it's like a PowerPoint that is littler. I did like a half of a 8.5 by 11, and it was always in nice full color. Or I would show it on my iPad, whichever I wanted to do, or my laptop. But I would, to start the dialogue, like, we're your advocates. I don't know what your experience is with real estate at all, but I know that some people have a negative connotation around realtors. But I want you to know that I'm different, and you can trust me, because not only am I your advocate, but my entire team that I bring with me is are your advocates as well. And that includes lenders, closing companies, home inspectors, contractors. So I just want to put that right up front. So let me ask you, when we were on the telephone, you told me that you were moving here because of a relocation. And where are you relocating from? And then see how you're now engaging with them, making sure that they know that they're important to you. So then the next question is, and you told me that you didn't have a home to sell and you are not in a lease. So pretty much when we find the home that you're looking for, you're going to be ready to move in. Let me ask you, what's your ideal time? If you could say, wow, I definitely want to be in by this time, what is that date? You definitely want to get that definitive from them. Because if they say, oh, I'm in no hurry, I'm just going to wait until I find the perfect house, that might be a red flag or a pink flag. Okay? Because again, time is money. And while we want to serve, we are here to make money. We are here to get them a home, right? That's what, with buyers, our job is to help them find a home they want to buy. And then the next question that I would ask them is, what's your preferred mode of communication? Do you prefer text, Facebook message, email, phone call? Again, you're trying to make sure that you are showing them that they are of utmost importance to you. And then you say, have you established a budget? And many times they might say, if they're a home buyer before, they might say, yeah, this is the price range between $250 and $300. Or they might say, well, I'm not really sure, but I know that I'm comfortable with a monthly mortgage at X price. Which is why, ladies, you need to have a go-to lender that is going to sit you down, or that you sit down and say, okay, I need to know what an average mortgage would be, FHA, for these price ranges, and do it like 100 to 200, 200 to 300, 300 to 400. We're just getting averages just so that we can understand, so that when someone comes to us and says, hey, I know that my mortgage could be about $1,500 a month, in what bucket they are, right? Without talking to a lender. You need to get that up front. You need to know that. This is you being an exceptional realtor, okay? Then from there, you don't go to pre-approval yet. You go over here to current market conditions. So every market is different. Let me share with you what's going on here. In your particular price range, homes are going under contract in 14 days. Shorter if they are priced right and show great. Sometimes longer if the home needs a little more work. And you can understand that, right? So let me ask you, will you be paying cash for this home, or will you be securing a mortgage? Boom, what a beautiful way to say that, to find out if they have a pre-approval without putting them on the spot and making them feel up against the wall defensive, right? So again, you say, fabulous. So let me ask you, will you be paying cash for this purchase, or will you be securing a mortgage? And the reason that I ask it that way is, number one, so you don't want to back them up and get them in a defensive posture, but also number two, then you can say that that when you buy a home with a mortgage, your mortgage company will require an appraisal. And basically, I write into all of my contracts that the home must appraise at or above agreed upon contract sales price. And so with me, you'll never overpay. And with anybody, they won't overpay, but they don't know that. And again, you are trying to establish trust, credibility, exceptionalism as a realtor, okay? So then that's where you go with that. And then you want to say that, let's say we go out today and this house isn't your house. That's okay. We'll keep at it. When we find the house that you have to make yours, we need to have a pre-approval. And so you said you're securing a mortgage. Do you have a pre-approval right now? And if they say yes, you say, oh, and who's the lender? Because I'm going to need that pre-approval in my hand before I can show you the home. And that will separate the lying buyers from the truthful buyers, right? Because if in fact they do have a pre-approval, it was probably emailed to them and they can, on their cell phone, send it over to you. Or they can give you the phone number of their lender, or they can call, say, go ahead and call and ask them to email the pre-approval to me. Now, if they don't have a pre-approval, then this is what I recommend saying. Okay, perfectly fine. In this market, many of our sellers have asked that we realtors secure the pre-approval so that the sellers don't leave the home for someone who wouldn't be qualified to buy the home. And as a homeowner or as a past homeowner, or I'm sure you can understand that, right? Because if you were the one selling, you wouldn't want everybody coming through your home. You want to make sure that those who come through your home are the ones who can actually afford the home. And that makes sense. So if they say no, say great, no problems at all. My lender is on standby. And so I'm talking to you now, you can either have your lender on standby in the office, and then you can leave and let them do their thing, or you can call them on. So let me call my George. His name is George. He's fabulous. And let me call George, and then you'll get pre-approved within minutes, and then we can continue and head on out to see the home. If they say, oh, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not ready to get pre-approved yet. Ladies, whenever a client says something that you're not really sure how to answer or respond to, then you respond with a question. So the question would be, really? And why would that be? You're not in an accusatory way or not in a defensive posture. You are simply asking the question. Can you tell me more about that? And then they might say, well, because I don't want my my credit negatively affected. And then you say, okay, well, you told me that you're looking to be in the home ideally by January 30th. So that means that we really have to get moving. And so even if we don't find your home today, the pre-approval letter is good for 60, 90, I forget what it is, but you know what it is, for 60 to 90 days. And so getting it now will not negatively affect you at all. And in fact, it will move us forward in the process. Does that make sense? Great. Now, if they balk at that and they say, look, I'm not going to do it, then you can say, so the concern is your credit. Is that right? Okay. Other people have felt the same way. But what we found is that if you were to go out and shop different car dealers to buy a car, and let's say you shopped 5 different ones, now each of those inquiries is going to count as a ding against your credit. So that would be 5 dings. But with the mortgage industry, it's set up a little differently, because they know something as big as a mortgage is a huge commitment, hundreds of thousands of dollars many times. And so you can look up to, I think it's 3 to 5 lenders, and it counts as one inquiry, but that inquiry is not going to be as a major ding as a car loan or like a store credit card. Does that make sense? Maybe they didn't know that. And if they still balk at it, then that's not really the problem, right, ladies? So then you just have to dig a little deeper. And bottom line is, if somebody really didn't want to get pre-approved at this point, I would say, gosh, Susie, I would really love to help you, but I know with 123 Main Street, the seller mandates that I acknowledge that there's been a pre-approval pulled, and I can't do that. I know that you can afford the home, but I'm not the owner of the home, and the owner of the home sets that standard. And many times I would say, gosh, when I wish I could help you. I would love to work with you. Are you sure we can't reconsider? So you do everything you can, but think about it, ladies. If they don't want to get a pre-approval, do you think they're going to buy a house? I'll say less than 10% might, but more often than not, you would be better served using your time with someone else. I'm not saying that you wouldn't follow up with these people. I'm just saying that you have standards. Time is precious, and you have standards. And just because you made an appointment, you're not going to show the house to somebody who won't get pre-approved. And by the way, if they say, we're going to be paying cash, fabulous, I just need a proof of funds. And you can even bring up, if it's a Saturday, you can go ahead and bring up your account where the money is, and just cross off the account number. Just let me see that the money is there. Ladies, I was a stickler and I was a top agent. Okay, so these things that I'm sharing with you are definitely doable, workable, and they're not in the way, they actually make you more successful. Okay. Hi, Trudy. Okay. Hi, Rosalina. Thanks, guys. Okay. So if they agree to get pre-approved, now they've gotten pre-approved, they come back, or we come back in the room, I come back in the room, and I say, all right, so where did we come out with as far as budget? Fabulous. Because sometimes you'll find that they wanted to see a home for $320 and they can only get approved to $300 or $280. Now you have to have that hard conversation. And that's why I bring my laptop or my iPad, so that we can go ahead, put the criteria in the MLS in front of the buyer so that they can see what is available in their price range. Because again, you're not going to waste time. Okay? You're being selfish with your time, but you're also providing a level of exceptional service to these buyers. Okay? So let's assume that the home they wanted to see is within the price range, or rather within what they can afford and get pre-approved for. The next thing is I want to share with you about expectations and averages. So you can expect to, the average home here in this zip code or in this county, however you do it, will go under contract for 98.2% of list price. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because parents and family members and coworkers, everybody thinks they're a real estate expert. Oh, make sure you ask for this much off. But I'm telling you what the average is, so that when we look at a home, the seller is expecting to get 98, whatever I said, percent. Now, you can lower that expectation if the home needs work. You can raise that expectation if the home is exquisite, because homes here that are exquisite and priced right are actually getting under contract and closing for higher than list price. And then so that's the expectation. In terms of averages, my average buyer goes out and sees X number of homes before writing an offer. So I just like to say that. Then we talk about new construction. If your market has new construction, the fact that they have salespeople there and you think that they're working for you, but they're actually an employee of the builder. And so it's always in your best interest to have me represent you, whether for new construction or if you see it for sale by owner, because now that I know what you're looking for, or when I do, once we get to this home search checklist, then I will actually be looking on for sale by owners as well for you. So then you go back to, share with me your ideal home. So we're going to go see 123 Main Street. You told me on the phone call yesterday that the main reason you liked it was 123. So you're looking for a ranch home, or so you're looking for a split foyer or whatever it is. Then they say yes or no. Then you go into a specific criteria for the home search so that you can go into the MLS and see if there's any other homes that would fit their criteria. So you need 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, size of lawn, square footage, central air, fireplace, finishes, main level, bedroom, whatever. Because you want to make sure that you understand clearly what they're looking for. And then what I would do is I would make a photocopy of the answers from the buyer intake, and I would give them a copy in their folder, and I would keep a copy for me. And on this form is a date. We have their name, their email, their cell phone, their preferred mode of communication, and all the answers that they've answered on the question. Because if they can't find a home and you're showing them what they're telling you they want, and yet they're not pulling the trigger, after 2 or 3 times out, you're going to pull this out. And you're going to say, you know what, I feel like we need to adjust something. We're either going to have to adjust the price, or we're going to have to adjust the things that your home must have. And for example, in my market, people wanted a basement, and they wanted, a garage, a 2-car garage. Well, I'd say, well, you know what, in your price range, which is more important? Because you probably won't get both. And these are the kind of hard conversations that you have to have when you are in your initial consult meeting with your buyer. So anyway, you give them their folder that has their intake form, that has, you know, the important to know, you know, stuff that you've gone over with them. And then you go to the MLS, you let them see that you're putting in exactly what their criteria is, so they can see what comes up, how many homes there are, do you want to see any of these, whatever. Then you share, you know, look, you can see by me bringing you in here that it was a good idea to come in here, right? Because we had a lot of things to discuss. Because most agents will just meet you at the home and not really understand what you're looking for. But I do things differently, as I shared with you. So my goal is that I want to wow you with my exceptional service. I want you to be my client for the long haul and hopefully refer your friends to me. So I want to be your agent. And today, and this is up to you, I would say today I'm not going to require you sign a buyer agency agreement because I just don't, I think it's a little early for that. But at the end of our time together today, I will be asking you if you're ready to move forward with me as your realtor. What that means is that my job is to go out and scan the marketplace, whether it's new construction, for sale by owner, coming soon, and those listings that are already on the market, as far as you know, finding the home that best meets your criteria and showing you those homes and getting you a great home that you're excited to buy. That's my job. Your job, as a result of that buyer agency agreement, is to share with me likes and dislikes, and a lot of times things change as we get into it, so you agree to do that with me, to share that information with me and use me as your realtor no matter what home you're looking at, whether it be for sale by owner, new construction, or a home that's listed regularly. Does that make sense? Okay. And then you can talk about how you're a great negotiator and that you know the market inside and out, and with you they will have a wonderful experience. And then you are ready to head out. Now, I want to know how that feels. You know, what do you think about that, what I just went over? Because I'm actually over time a little bit. Hi, Jane. Hi, Holly. Give me some feedback, ladies. This is the winning buyer strategy, by the way. It is the winning buyer strategy. Hi, Carolina. So what do you think? This is step one to buyers, because remember, these are mini training sessions. So next week I will continue with working with buyers. This was the winning buyer strategy 101, which is from the time you get a prospect until you're going to go show the first house. And we'll continue from here moving forward for next week. Kayla says it sounds professional and classy. Love it. Great. All right, everybody else, just give me a comment. Oh, hi, Jenny, Karina, Rosalina. How did you get in? I didn't see you. Your name come up. Sorry about that. So I want you to write a comment. Let's see. Write wow if you would like to give your clients a wow experience. Go ahead and write wow in the comments. If your goal is to wow your clients in 2020 so that you can close more deals, whether they be with buyers or sellers. Give me a wow in the comments. Come on, give me a wow in the comments. There's a lag in time. Wow, 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 wow. Come on, ladies. Nobody wants to wow their clients? I know you do. I know you do. Joanne says, I need to add some things to my consultation. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, ladies. I really appreciate you being with me. Please, there's two things I want to share with you. Jump in. Thank you for the love. Jump into the my group. She's an unstoppable agent. She's an unstoppable agent. If you're on this page, all you do is at the top, it'll say find the group or connected with the group. Go in there and join the group, because right now we have a video challenge going on in there that you can jump into, which all those videos will stay there, so you can always go back and watch them and do the worksheet and do the work of videos. But I'm going to be constantly coming in that group for training, and I'm going to do training here too, don't worry. But some really fun things for you, because my heart is for women real estate agents and brokers to elevate not just their business, but also their entire lives, to be excited about life again. So I'm excited that you're here. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon. Bye.